I hear it's quite warm in Treviso, Nigel. You're welcome along.
Yeah, glad to be with you, William. And it's a nice, pleasant, not a surprise really when you come over here, but a pleasant change considering what we trained in yesterday at the sports ground. It wasn't exactly ideal for the 22 or degrees and dry pitches and no winds that we're experiencing here today. So I said it makes a pleasant change and one that we're looking forward to playing in.
Yeah, it's an interesting side. There's a couple of big names that are, well, one is obviously Bundy Aki is back. And then, of course, Denis Buckleys making his 200th appearance, which is only the third Connacht player to achieve that. Of course, he made his debut in Treviso in 2011 when it was 32 degrees plus, I think. It was a boiling hot evening. So he's well used to these conditions.
Yeah, and look at fair play to Denis. Well, I mean, it's very unusual, I think, in modern day rugby now that, and it is going to be an exclusive club reaching 200 professional caps. To do that, one, you need to be obviously a peak performance. You need to be able to be playing at the level where you can be selected every week, but just with the level of physicality in the game and brutality to some degrees, to have that robustness and durability is a key factor now for any kind of longevity of career. So I said Denis has managed that really well over the last number of years, and I said it's a fantastic achievement to get to that milestone.
Bundy's obviously been champing at the bit to come back. He's got this Lions tour coming very soon. We're looking forward to that. But Connacht in general, you have a big job on here. This is a strong Benetton side.
Yeah, it's a Benetton side that have, in some ways, they struggled for results for most parts of the season. It's not that they struggled for form; they actually played reasonably well. They're an extremely dangerous team to play against. They like to play with a lot of width and depth, and they've absolutely no qualms in lashing the ball around. So they do pose a massive threat. And again, over the course of the season, I think it was 7 or 8 of their games they lost by only one score, and I think 5 or 6 of those were in the last minute when the clock was in the red. So they've been thereabouts. So when you look at their form over the last couple of games, albeit they've had 2 games against Zebre, one against a pretty loaded Glasgow team, and they put 40 points up. So we're well aware of the dangers that they pose. But for us, it's just about patience and accuracy, really. The last time we played them, it's a real they're a tough team to play against. They're extremely physical, and they make you work really hard for your scores. So, we got out of there the last time, in the regular season, again, when the clock was in the red and with a score, and it was a 1-score game, but we had to work extremely hard for it. So we're not expecting anything different tomorrow. I said they've got, a prize in that, if they can win their next 2, they can. They're in the driving seat in terms of the Rainbow Cup table. So like 2 wins with 5 points for them, and they make a final, which is huge. Could be a huge achievement for them. So you can see what the prize is big for them. So we're well aware of the dangers they pose. So we need to be on our game tomorrow.
Yeah, I just wonder in some ways, will the pressure tomorrow really get to them, because they don't normally compete at the top of tables. They've had a few very bright occasions in the past, but it's really in their own hands here. And I suppose if you can sow the seeds of doubt a little bit early in this game, that could be key. Connacht really need 5 points out of this as well, so that's an added pressure at your end.
Yeah, well, so firstly, yes, I do hope that the pressure does get to them. But, for us, we can't give them just access into the game really easily. And so for us, if we get an opportunity, it's about just chipping away at the scoreboard. We're not going over here with a mindset, that we need to get 5 points. We certainly don't need to get it in the first 20 minutes by playing, loose rugby. Treviso, they thrive in kind of chaos. So for us, it's about, really creating order out of that chaos, and I'm making sure that everything that we do, it's with clarity and it's with accuracy and precision. And every time we get a chance, if you can keep the scoreboard ticking over without having to force that, then you hope then you can plant seeds of doubt into their head, and that also can build confidence with our team. And hopefully then eventually you get enough points where you can pull away and you can go for that 5 points or you get that fourth try. So, I mean, that's our approach to the game. It's not about, trying to be Harlem Globetrotters from the start. We know what we can expect from Treviso, but we're trying to be very controlled and measured about how we go about our business.
Any special plans to handle Paolo Garbisi? I think it's the first time he's ever played against Connacht. He seems to be one of the coming stars in Italian rugby. He's developed on the way they would like, and a lot of what they do goes through him. Yeah, he's he's got a huge left foot on him, but he's also extremely dangerous with ball in hand. So you just got to make sure that you don't give him space. You don't allow him to grow wings, so he can get his gander up. You got to make life tough for him. So putting pressure on him in defence, putting pressure on his kicks. And making them having to defend as well. So it's about different things. But again, we wouldn't go, to target the guy, but you got to admire, the growth and certainly the curve that he's on as well. It's been a massive year for him, and he said he's getting better and better. And you can certainly see that he's an international class 10. What's your key tomorrow? You've talked about obviously, you need to get access into the game, but where do you think this game will be won? Up front, or is it up to the backs in what could be really good conditions to play rugby?
I think games are always won up front. Treviso are one of the most physical teams in the league. When you include some of the Irish teams in that, they're an extremely tough team to break down. So if you don't get parity up front, you're on the back foot straight away. So our maul is going to be extremely important, and defending their maul is extremely important, but we believe that we can do that. We think we have a decent scrum, and again that can give you access into a game. Certainly we've got Finlay and Denis there, who we know they can milk penalties out of any team, and that gives us access into their half as well. Look, at the backs are there just to kind of capitalise on that. Any of the opportunities at the forwards, but they'll certainly lay the foundation for them. So even though if the weather's going to be good and it'll promote running rugby, that will only come on the back of parity up front, and without that, I said it's going to be difficult.
Has anybody suggested to Bundy he needs to mind himself here now in these games? I know it's a difficult thing, but we've seen the story around Conor Murray picking up what seems to be a fairly minor injury, but that must be in a player's head with a Lions tour coming.
If it is, you certainly wouldn't know it. He doesn't hold back. He wasn't holding back in training yesterday. Bundy doesn't do anything, less than 100%. So, he knows he's game shy, and he knows that games are vital to him. So for him, it's just about going through his process. It's not about forcing the game too hard in attack or defence, particularly, he was very unlucky with that red card again, a couple of inches lower and the tackle was fine. And so if he doesn't want to miss a trip to South Africa, but he's certainly not going to hold back and mind himself either. He's not that type of character, and we wouldn't expect him to either.
Nigel, it's been great to talk to you. I can't let this opportunity pass, because this is probably the final time that we'll talk at the moment with you with your Connacht hat on. We know you're leaving very shortly. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Galway Bay FM and the Craggy Rugby podcast, and particularly myself, for your kindness shown to me over the years, for answering my questions, for educating me in the game. We had some great old chats up at the sports ground when we used to be able to go up to the captain's run, and obviously we're doing it remotely now, but I'd like to thank you and wish you all the best for the future, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon to talk about your new project.
Yeah, thanks, William. Look, it's tough to be leaving, of course, and I have such fond memories with Connacht. And look, there's another couple of weeks left yet, and look, so we won't be too far. We'll be back again in some capacity.